Xing says she would not leave without speaking to Yi, so they stop at a salon and borrow a phone. At first, he doesn't answer the phone because he is in the middle of confessing his feelings to Zuo, but he eventually does. While speaking to Xing, he asks her to give him 10 minutes to come to her. Instead of going to Xing, he calls Gao and gives him the information. 10 minutes are up, and Gao, despite trying his best to reach the location, does not meet up. When he gets there, Chen and Xing are already on the move. While walking through the forest leading to Xing's village, Chen silently makes plans to come back for the load after learning the village's location. On getting to the village, Xing has Chen locked in a cage. She tells him that though their friendship is sincere, she brought him with her because she knows he has bad intentions toward Gao. Xing says that although Gao hurt her, she knows he did it to protect her, so she would do anything to protect him. On Earth for the trick, and when he shows up at the abandoned warehouse, he is attacked and tied up by Dong's men. The following day, Gao realizes that Dong and Lion had turned to him because Xing escaped, and so they were desperate. Determined to protect the woman he loves and her people, Gao tells Dong and Lion that he will never tell them where the load is even if they kill him. Provoked, Lion nearly stabs Gao, but Dong holds her back. Elsewhere, Xiana and Qin have noticed that Gao is missing and are frantically searching for him. Just as they have managed to track Gao's phone to the abandoned warehouse, Xiana and Qin receive a video call from Lion, who shows them video evidence of Gao in his beaten-up state. Lion then tells the two that the only way they can save Gao is to bring Xing to her. After speaking with Lion, Xiana and Qin are overcome by panic and worry. Xiana wants to go to Gao immediately, but Qin stops her. This leads to an argument, and Xiana explodes. She says mean things to Qin and calls him a coward, but she apologizes immediately. Qin reflects on Xiana's words and decides to be brave. He gives Xiana sleeping pills and sets off with hand grenades to save Gao on his own. Qin's bravery pays off, and he manages to save Gao. But in the process, Dong gets a picture of the map to Xing's village. Although Gao escapes, Qin gets badly injured and is rushed to the hospital. While being rushed to the Qin finally confesses his feelings to Xiana. He also tells her where to find evidence about Lian and Dong to take to the police. Worried that Lian and Dong would wreak havoc on Xing's village and her people, Gao heads out to warn her. Coincidentally, Dong, Lian, and their men are also trying to make their way to the village by following the map. When they spot Gao, they decide to tail him. In the village, Xing longs for Gao, and Chen remains in the cage until he is spotted by Yunhee, his longtime girlfriend. Yunhee recognizes that Chen's greed landed him where he is, and attempts to kill him, but Xing stops her and releases him. After his release, Chen apologizes for his wrongdoings and warns Xing, Yunhee, and the villagers of the impending danger. Ultimately, Yunhee leads the villagers to a cave where they would be safe while Chen and Xing head out searching for Gao. Moments later, Gao meets Xing at the entrance to the village, and the two quickly reconcile. Chen apologizes to Gao, but Gao says not all mistakes can be forgiven. Dong finds the village location by tailing Gao and goes back for Lian and the rest of their men. Shortly after, Lian, Dong, and all their men arrive at the village. They command Xing to take them to the load, but she refuses, and a fight ensues. As the battle rages on, Dong pulls out a gun and tells Xing and Gao that he will shoot them if they don't give up the position of the load. In the cave, Yunhee hears the commotion, and so she returns to save Xing. When she sees Dong pointing a gun at Xing and Gao, she fires her arrow at him, and he, in turn, fires the gun in the direction of Xing and Gao. Out of nowhere, Chen uses his body to shield the couple, and he dies from the bullet wound. Xing agrees to take Lian and Dong to the load, but she takes them around in circles. When the two realize that they are being tricked, another fight breaks out. This time, the police, accompanied by Xiana and Yi, intervene and take Lian and Dong into custody. Now fully aware of the existence of Xing's village and the load, the government seals off the mining area to protect the natives. When everything is over and peace has been restored, Xing, Gao, Yi, Yunhee, Xiana, and Qin hold an emotional memorial for Chen. In the future, Xiana, Qin, and Gao leave the jewel hunting industry. Qin, who is now a professional gamer, and Xiana, who is aspiring to become an author, are now an official couple. Xing moves in with Gao full-time, completes her volunteer training, and joins a first aid team. He realizes he is madly in love with Zuo, so he asks the group to help him with a plan to get her back. Xiana, Qin, Gao, and Xing kidnap Zuo and take her to Yi. He makes a grand romantic gesture for Zuo that involves opening the cake store that they had fantasized about in their childhood. Finally, Zuo agrees to be with Yi. On a beach, Gao proposes to Xing, and she says yes. Shortly after, the lovebirds are joined by the two other couples, Qin and Xiana and Zuo and Yi. The series comes to an end with all three couples performing the car taming dance.